Stop me.
Alright, hold on. You finna go?
Man,
No, he about to press go. He about to press go. We keep things
Like
rolling. You
real.
know what I'm saying? We keep things. So I also let me
Like
put
anything
it
in
out there
specific or
because
just
this is
general?
your camera. So welcome y'all to another episode of the Presidential Executive. This your homie JB, the exec, my homie brethren over here, Rag. And I just want to take my time with this one here today, man. We got a very special appearance and guest over here. I'm 40, but he's like right there. Like even, when we had Mr. Like Button on here, Jeremy Sanders, like we had the OG. Like this was the OG.
This is like the young OG.
Yeah, this is like the young OG that I actually have experience with. Hands on with. Like Jeremy a little bit older, so I wasn't.
Yeah, no, J Mac is triple OG status, but
Right,
we got a double OG.
So I wasn't on the ground floor with this, you know what I'm saying, with Jeremy, but this guy here, you know what I'm saying. I go back. I don't know if you remember the story, like at TSU, like at TSU. I didn't know we both PKs, right?
Yeah.
We both PKs, so I knew what I knew what I was on, you know what I'm saying, coming up, and so. But I didn't know what he was on, you know what I'm saying? But I saw him, it was we hang out at the Hadley Park.
Yeah.
This was probably like 2000, 2001. You had the little gold car, the little gold John or something.
Breeze.
Yeah, you had the little gold
The
John.
Breeze John.
You saw
With
me.
the remote.
Right. You probably don't remember this. But Rag, he saw me, right? And you know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, hop in. He take me back to campus or do something like that. I ain't had no car that year. And you know what I'm saying? He had
That man hit her with the respect hand.
I'm off if my clients are watching.
He welcomed me, you know what I'm saying? He welcomed me to TSU. You know what I'm saying, to say the least. And so, this is my homie, my brother, our friend.
I go back further than that.
Yeah. I mean, we go back further than that, but this was, this was the first time that we actually, when you outside the church rim and you kind of, you know what I'm saying, you see actually people's, lives, you know what I'm saying, like, so,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, so this was a genuine moment.
Yeah,
so
no, they used to whip my ass when I was a little kid, so it was a different. You got fond memories. Like I was running.
you
know
were
what I'm
running,
saying? But then like B Hall was my cousin, so he was like, "Hey,"
Yeah.
and they would be like, so they'd give me that look like,
Cause B Hall was the center.
Yeah.
Like in basketball.
yeah. Oh,
He was the big dude.
at
then.
13. He was
he
like
was the big
5'8"
dude.
at 13,
He was the biggest dude.
but he didn't never grow no more after that.
He was our center.
Yeah.
Like real talk.
But then after that, they kind of just took me in. You know what I'm saying? They kind of let me learn some things. You know what I'm saying? Put me under their wing. So then it got to the point where they was like, all right, we're going to stop slapping him upside the head. He cool.
He cool with that. Okay, so I want to introduce my homie, my brother, Darrell Holloway. You know what I'm saying? Welcome him to the pod, y'all. I'm excited about this.
It's Sam now.
I may say it's Sam.
It's Sam now.
Okay, what we say? Is it Sam? Sam me? So what we doing?
It's just Sam.
Just Sam.
Yes, sir.
Oh, my bad.
So that way when you see the business cards, you don't know. And you
that's the
call
corporate
them,
name,
like,
y'all.
yeah.
My bad. Let me
Come
say,
on, executive.
Let me say Sam Holloway.
It was
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what's up, man?
Before we get into it, man, let everybody know where they can find us at.
Yo, man, you can find us on YouTube. You can find us at ThePrezEx, ThePrezEx. We're on there. Go ahead and like and share, subscribe. Actually, before you even get into what we're about to talk about, go ahead and like this video right now. So
I need
we get people always on the street telling, "Oh, we watch, hey JB or Rag, we watch a podcast, da da da." But my question is, have you liked the video? If you ain't liked the video, you ain't talking about nothing.
Right.
So
if you have not shared it or subscribed,
yeah. So if you ain't did that, then we need to talk. So go ahead and do that right now. Go ahead and do us a solid on that. And we're on all podcast platforms as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher. And you can go check us out there. Without further ado, y'all.
And just so y'all know, we don't have any sponsors.
Shout out to the sponsor.
Turn the gun around. Look at
Please believe we will promote your product. I can't do this due to copyright restrictions and/or trademark, but please believe. A lot of times I ain't necessarily thinking, but I do be drinking. So your boy will promote your product. Please believe that on the ThePrezEx podcast. I'm just saying, I ain't playing. You know what we do. So now we got our boy Big Sam. Let's get it.
Sam,
what's going on? Sam?
What it do, my guy?
What's going on, man?
First
of all, I'm very happy to be here. I'm very excited, bro.
Hey,
to be here, real talk, man. I do watch.
The feeling.
I do watch.
Nah, he ain't lying. He hit me up at the mall. I was delivering at the mall. I was walking into the store. He was coming out. Shit!
My guy.
He had baby girl with him. And she kind of jumped because he just went, he lost it.
Who was that, Daddy?
Yeah.
Don't worry about that, baby. Yeah, man. So I'm excited. I appreciate you guys having me, man.
Appreciate you,
man.
Guy.
Appreciate you for coming through. Long time coming.
Like I said, I want to take my time on this, and so you know what I mean. Like this is family here. You know what I'm saying. You know, we've had a lot of private conversations over the years and stuff like that. So this is, honestly, this is just me. I don't know how you feel about it, right? I think this guy here is one of the I think he's misunderstood.
I think the word you're looking for I think the word you're looking for is polarized.
Polarizing, that's what it is.
Polarized.
Yeah, polarizing, and also I do think he is very misunderstood by a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep it 1,000 and you know what I'm saying. And so honestly, D, I call you D. I'm gonna call you D because that's what I call you. I'm gonna call you D. I forget the Sam. We'll get to Sam later.
Yeah,
we'll get to Sam.
Hey, it's
later.
8 to 5.
Yeah,
it's like Big Red.
He said,
it's like Big Red. My after hours.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like what we trying to do on here is really, bring people that are, from our path, from our community that. You know what I'm saying? That people may not know about. You know what I'm saying? And so, or people know about, like I said, I think you low key popular out here. You know what I'm saying? Like low key. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people.
You say the most known unknown.
Most known unknown out here. You know what I'm saying?
They need to call me for all their insurance needs.
Yeah.
They need to know.
We gonna get into that too. We may even do a full infomercial for them or something. You know what I'm saying?
Good. That's not why we here.
No, but
8 to 5.
But that's
he said 8 to 5.
But everybody ain't free.
Right.
Everybody ain't free.
And everybody ain't able.
Right.
Everybody ain't free.
But, you've been like, we have a lot of common because, I think all of us grew up PKs. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? We definitely have that in common. Been knowing you, I guess, since I was probably 9 to 10 years old when we came over to Breath and stuff like that. So, you know what I'm saying? I really want to just dig into, your story kind of, and obviously what you're doing now. Cause we going to get into the whole life insurance thing and, you know what I'm saying? No, but we definitely going to get into that though. We definitely going to get into that. Cause like I said, I told you offline that I may have to holler at you too, just to make sure I got the right rate from what I got. Yeah. You feel me?
I think you were strong though. I think we talked about it.
Yeah, I may, but
I think you were strong.
I might. Cause I think the guy I mess with.
Care of you.
I think the guy. Yeah, the guy I mess with.
I think he took care of you.
Yeah. So I also want to say, congrats, and you know what I'm saying, you 17 years. 17 years wedding anniversary. You know what I'm saying? To the lovely.
That's intentional.
That's intentional.
Both of us.
Yeah.
We try and do that.
Yeah. So I saw you.
You gotta try and do that.
You doing the PDA with the social media. I saw that. You know what I'm saying?
Why you say PDA?
Salute to you. So
why you gotta say PDA? Hey, look. You might well go and say it was late.
Was it late? I didn't even know it was late. Okay, I ain't. So
Thanks for reading the post.
So you told yourself. You told on yourself. I didn't know that.
Thanks for reading the post, bro. It was only a hashtag, bro.
I didn't even know. I didn't know it was late.
Right. It was only a hashtag.
I didn't even know it was late.
It was the 21st, though. You know what I'm saying?
21st. Okay.
Yeah,
dig that.
she been holding me down.
Yeah, so we, you know, somebody I look up to, cause we.
He said, make sure that's on there.
You get that?
Make sure that's created. Make sure that's in there.
We got family in here. Also, we got Crown Vic in here. You know what I'm saying? The uncle of Sir Sam Holloway here. Crown Vic in the building doing all the producing and the directing.
That is his nephew. Nigga, you young as hell.
Give me $1 there.
Right.
That
nigga used to have to sneak you into places talking about your nephew.
I would sure use him on that.
Man,
like,
got the
my
man to
uncle.
check him
Like,
out.
hey, let me get 20.
Yeah, my nephew checking me out. The hell?
Let me get 20. Let me get 20.
Your nephew taught you how to drive. Stop it.
Now D here, like I want to get into, because honestly, I actually on my other podcast, on the Preacher Man podcast, I actually did talk about what was the last one I talked about? It was about marriage, right? It was about what I was talking about, just the journey of it, right?
Right.
The journey of it, and so not to get into anything else, but I think you and the lovely Miss Corliss has been on a journey. You know what I'm saying? I think you would agree with that.
Absolutely.
You feel me?
Absolutely.
And so what we see now is not what it was 10, 15, whatever years ago. And so y'all had to actually, you know, get to that level, right?
Yes and no.
Oh, please.
We were friends. Like, that was the homie.
Right.
That was my homie.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so like we were cool. So it didn't really. Honestly, I think without that, I'm not sure if we would have made it this far.
With the friendship,
because both of us had to learn and grow to this point.
Right. Now I was. The journal I was talking about was on the pod was talking about pressure. It was talking about pressure. It was talking about you know, basically just the norm, the thought that okay, once you married, it's happily ever after, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Like, but just given, I'm 9 years in. You feel me? So just if somebody,
when did you think that?
I didn't.
I'll bet.
I didn't. Right, but that's the general think. That's the general thinking, though.
Is it though?
If
you didn't think that.
No, I didn't.
I mean, what I'm saying?
because obviously living. You know, my parents was, you know, for my dad passed, was married 35 plus years. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you see things just not all just hunky dory, white fence, you know, white picket fence and stuff like that, right? And so. I never personally thought that. And so, but just for me talking to women, I don't know about you, Rag, but just, you know, I think people go into it thinking that it is like, it's supposed to start off, you know, you're supposed to get married, then it's happily ever after. I mean,
I think too, I think a large part of that is your marriage counselor. But I want to know, like, with that, what makes you assume that's the mindset coming in?
Just
so let's do this
okay,
tonight.
Okay.
For the rest of the night.
This is just a piece of it.
Something that we can say, all right, maybe that was mental conditioning.
Okay.
Because I don't know where this conversation might go.
Right. It's gonna go a few places.
Exactly. Because
this is just the first stop.
Right. Because, and honestly, all of them stem from that. So honestly, let's right now, let's create a column or think in terms of mental conditioning. Mm-hmm. Like, this was given to me.
Right.
Never really explored it.
Right. Now, I can just speak from my experience. Like, I don't know if Rag has, you know, when you first got married, you know what I'm saying? Like, did you think happily ever after?
Oh, well, first of all, let me just say that I was a vet. You know what I'm saying? I'm a veteran. You know, I was married for like 3 whole weeks. I'm a vet. You know I'm a vet. I got my stripes. Hey, I'm a vet.
For sure.
No, I didn't think that though. You know what I'm saying? Like prior to, and he talked about your counseling. Like on my end, I'm not gonna say I was expecting things to go bad, but in my mind, I was prepared on how I was going to react if it went all the way left. You know, my significant other was not prepared for the, okay, once we get past this goofy, putting our cheek to cheek together, you know, taking them goofy pictures and everything like that. Once we get past that, and now you go to work and them niggas don't want to buy you lunch no more because you married, and that's like, oh, wait, no, I can't buy your lunch no more. You got a whole husband. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we can't look at you like that no more because you got a whole husband. She wasn't ready for that. And keep in mind, like, I don't know how old y'all was when y'all got married. Y'all was
25.
Yeah, so I was there, but she was like 22. You see what I'm saying? Now, granted, this wasn't our parents and grandparents 22. Like, my mom got married when she was 20, still in that thing. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was something common.
With social media 22. That's
right.
Different influence.
Yeah, different influence. So she wasn't, once it got past that goofy stage, she wasn't prepared for that. But for me, and that was why even when she had left and we were separated for like 4.5 months, I was still like, okay, we gonna get through. Like, it's one of them things. It happens. We gonna get through it. We gonna get over it. And keep in mind, like, it was not something that my parents told me, like, hey, it might be a time where this person decided to walk away, but just G it up and you're going to be all right and everything will work. Like, I wasn't conditioned to that part of it. It was just in me, I felt like I really believed, because you know me, I'm big on words. So when I took that vow, I was really big on what those words meant. And that's why, like, you know, when I work jobs, like, my supervisors hate me because I'm going to read the employee handbook. So when you try to tell me something, I'm coming, wait, y'all said it. So I need something in writing to say that you're giving me permission to break this rule. So when I read and took that vow, it was like, okay, this is the worst part.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The better is when I come home and you taking off all your clothes and you taking off all my, oh, that's the better. When we laugh and watching this movie or whatever, that's the better. But you're not happy, that's the worst. Okay, that's something that's in there. So like to your point, I wasn't it wasn't something I was necessarily looking forward to, but I wasn't surprised when it came. But to your point, it wasn't a mental conditioning of, oh, okay, look for the bad, because my parents never talked about it. Even though I saw the bad, they never talked about the bad. They never was like,
Right.
Now with the rest, since you brought it up, you know what I'm saying, as far as mental conditioning, because I know that's your thing. I didn't tell y'all this is like, you know, kind of my version of like T.I. This dude is like, you know, he's very use all these vocabulary, vocabulary and work expeditiously. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Low key,
he is a high value. He is a high value individual.
Agreed.
Low key. This dude could have been an image consultant himself.
I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? Dope boy fresh.
I tried to get him to be my style. Right. He was like, nah.
Everywhere he go, dope boy fresh.
I'm already here, guys.
Dope.
I'm already here.
Man,
you don't have to do this now.
Dope boy fresh. So when you say mental conditioning. In that regard, so what are you referring to there, my guy? Like mental, like your conditioning when you got married. What was your mental conditioning? Like you saying it wasn't that?
Oh, yo, yeah, I had a wake up call. Well, so my wife comes from, and not that my mom doesn't, but. My wife comes from strong women.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like you all know the bloodline.
I do.
Right.
Yep. So.
You know, I like.
No, I'm saying.
Yeah. I know.
Did you see, bro?
I get it.
Look, now he's saying, oh.
Right.
Yeah.
So given that.
For sure.
That is not what it looks like on my side of the family.
Yeah.
So mental conditioning is you're conditioned to assume that they know your frame of reference.
Right.
That was my frame of reference. That was it for me. That.
But that's safe to do,
and
right?
And my 4 sisters.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that though. I guess because I know your pops, but then at the same time, like when you say your frame of reference though, so I guess they're probably picking up more.
Let's do this, because people say they know my pops. I love my pops. Me and my pops saw one hunt done. Salute
To the doc.
I sent him a clip off of Fred Sanford the other day. But what were we talking about?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I can imagine with him being your dad, like stuff that he's probably teaching, right?
This is what I was gonna say.
You would think that they would have picked that up, right?
We're taking our time, bro. Go ahead.
This is what I was gonna say.
Okay.
So both of you all have done some public speaking.
Yeah.
Me,
public speaking?
Not to your level though.
No, period.
You feel me?
Public speaking.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So you've had to prepare for that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
What was the preparation like? Just if you think about it in retrospect, it was probably rigorous. Research study for how long? At length, like how long was the speaking engagement?
Right.
20 minutes, 30 minutes.
If that, yeah.
And you had that much prep.
Right.
So he did that 4 to 5 times a week.
Yeah.
My entire life.
Yeah.
4 to 5 times. How long did it take you to prep for 30 minutes? So you're in 4 or 5 different worship opportunities in 4 or 5 different places with 4 or 5 different lines of logic that you're taking this thought through.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think people consider that.
Yeah, I agree. To that level, like for me personally, like I'm a perfectionist to a degree. You know what I'm saying? I like things how, you know what I'm saying? So if I do something, I may overdo, you know what I'm saying, trying to prepare.
Spirit of excellence, fam. Don't apologize for it, bro.
Right.
Come on, man.
I mean, I apologize.
You know what I mean? That's what makes you different.
Yeah.
I don't apologize for it, man. Because somebody might not feel like it. I don't apologize for it.
Right, because I do not respond to the text message. Do not apologize, sir. Because the only reason I don't respond is because most of the time I be at work. But I get them and I read them and they hit me here.
In the ticker.
Right.
In the old ticker.
Right. Well, I mean, I was speaking from the standpoint of, because you talk about your frame of reference, right? And so your expectation, or I guess your thought process of what a marriage or a wife is supposed to be like, you're looking at, I guess, your mom and how she responds,
and my
right?
4 sisters.
Right. Well, no,
and
but the reason you say your 4 sisters, but I want to say when you got
3 sisters,
right,
because it was always only 3.
Right.
It was always only 3, either 3 were 2 above or 2 below. It was always only 3.
Yeah.
So, but I want to say when you got married, like, there's only 2 of them that was married, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So I mean, I'm just saying, like, the frame of reference of, I guess, looking at a wife would be your mom and then them. You know what I'm saying? And so I would imagine, you know what I'm saying, like me, because I've had certain conversations with your pops, like on a one-on-one level. So I'm just like, like, you know, I walk out there like, I'm like, man, and they have to deal with it, like, wow. You know what I'm saying? But like, you would think, I guess, that they would be a certain level of, you know what I'm saying? I guess, I don't want to say strength, but just
I didn't wash dishes until I got married.
You cannot be serious!
I never washed a dish in the house.
Wash a dish, bro? Seriously?
I didn't know that was extreme.
Yeah.
That's the reaction, bro.
Yeah. I
had 4 sisters though.
I mean, I'm with you, but that's still shocking to me though.
Too. I think honestly, I may have, as a child, unwittingly, I may have I may have exploited the fact that I was the only boy.
For sure. Yeah.
So everything is like, I don't want him to be gay. I gotta have super soakers and overalls. I gotta have them today.
I get that. But the
I gotta get the slick joints. We gotta go downtown. That's the only place that sells them. I may have unwittingly. You a kid.
Right.
So in retrospect, I do think it was like, because he always gone. Listen, 5 sermons a week? Come on, bro.
Yeah.
What y'all want from us, bro?
Yeah. No, that was just at our church though. I mean, that's not including if he's
that's
got
not including how many birthdays that may be someone's annual conference.
Right. Funerals, weddings.
Everybody's emergency gotta be your emergency.
Hey, yeah, that's extreme, bro. Like I never even thought about like a dish. Like I know I had we was on a rotation at my crib with the dishes and stuff like that. So that's something new to me. Like I never even thought about that.
No, wasn't no rotation over there. Them busters still don't know how to wash dishes.
Who knew that may be part of it? But at the same note, they never took out the trash. They never
For sure.
They never was outside in the flower bed. They weren't
right.
cleaning out the garage. And,
I feel you.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Cleaning out attics. They weren't doing none of that.
Yeah, man, I cut all the grass, did all the dishes.
No, we ain't cut no grass, though.
Oh, no, yeah, I had to cut that grass. Because Paco used to flake out of it. He used to use his fake allergies as a way.
Well, we cut grass because my pops did. So
that was another thing.
We was in the
There
grass.
was always something that someone provided. So that was how they served.
I got you.
You know what I mean? So people even misconstrued that.
Yeah.
Like that would be something that someone sows. That's not extravagant living. This is what they do.
Yeah.
It was like back in the day, like before it was a lot of currency being exchanged, it was bartering. You provide a service to me, and whatever that service is, if you're a doctor and you heal me, I don't have any money to give you, but I can fix your plumbing.
Not even that. They'll bake a cake.
Right, yeah.
But guys may not bake a cake, but if they got a lawn service, they'll come do that.
Right.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? If they have a housekeeping service, they'll come do that.
Or
they'll
detail your vehicles or whatever.
They'll come sew that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not extravagant living.
Right. No doubt.
That's tough. You know what I mean? Because
it is.
When you step outside of it and look at it, it's like, man, what's going on right here?
Well, let me ask this to both of y'all, I guess, because we all in the same boat. Like, did y'all ever feel like it was a burden? You know what I'm saying? Like, being in that position, because, like, let's just be straight up. Like, we didn't ask for that.
What position?
I mean, being in a position of a...
PK?
Yeah, being a PK. And, like again, we didn't ask for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just trying to live
be
your life,
everybody else standard.
And even not necessarily trying to act like everybody else, but just like how you said, stuff that's normal for you. People looking at you, sizing you up, trying to see how tough or how weak you are. Oh, you this, you got to turn the other cheek, or you can't say this, you can't talk like this and do that.
That wasn't an issue until I got older. That wasn't when I was younger, I could pop off. I could get fired on plenty. Like, it was nothing.
Right.
It was no issue when I was getting served.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? And I get it. I get it. You know what I mean?
I mean, but to your degree, I wasn't. My dad was a preacher, but he wasn't to the degree as your dad, because, like I said, your dad had a empire. You know what I'm saying? My dad, he had a few things. We actually had a church for like 3 or 4 years, living faith for like, you know, kind of like my teenage years. But you know what I'm saying? It wasn't.
What was that? What was that like leaving for you? Like,
it was.
What were your thoughts leaving and going somewhere else, like going back now?
I mean, personally, it was easy because that was Pops. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, he felt led to God that he needed to start his own ministry, his own church. And so, you know, he was like, he needed us to fulfill roles. He had Zarina was playing piano. You know what I'm saying? She took piano lessons back in the day from Mr. Andrew. You know what I'm saying? And so And me, I was just, kind of the executive administration, kind of whatever was needed within there, playing, choir music or whatever.
I
Or,
mean, leaving it though,
are,
leaving it.
are you talking about leaving that
Right,
church?
right.
Or leaving
Leaving.
breath?
No,
or
no,
leaving?
no,
Are you
no,
talking about
leaving that from serving? What was that like? Yeah.
leaving? Oh, well.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. I don't know, because I think I'm a different type of guy. Like I kind of went with the flow. It wasn't like a different thing. And so this is one of my issues with how I think. I think Rag said this too in another episode. It's like, my 2 cents is like 87 cents or something like that. Like I
said it was $35.87. If you're gonna
$35,
right.
Okay, $35.87. So
thank you, sir. I appreciate the correction.
Appreciate it. And so it's like I was groomed with just the type of lifestyle I grew up in, who my dad, was and stuff like that, to where, it wasn't stuff rolled off my back easily.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So, the transition was just like, okay, I knew at an early age life was about adapting. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't. I didn't have a cookie cutter.
That's different.
You know what I'm saying?
That's different.
And I knew that early on. I don't know how.
That's huge.
But I don't know why. I can't pinpoint a time where like, oh, this is where I was always like that. And I'm thinking it was something I picked up from my dad. Just like it was like, hey, on to the next. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we're supposed to do this now, but okay, now we're going here, and so now
I can dig it.
You know what I'm saying?
I can dig it.
But a lot of people not like that. That's what I'm saying. Like, so my perspective is like that. So when I tell my wife sometimes, like, why you tripping on it? Like, you know what I'm saying? We went over this, like, because I'm thinking, like, it's just on to the next. Like, it's not a big deal for me because it's never been a big deal for me. But I talk to other people, other men growing up, a teenager, just like, no, I didn't think like that. Like, just like you said, you thought about, okay, you were serving, and so you like doing this, and so now you pivoted. And so now it was like, it was something traumatic. Mm-hmm. But that wasn't me, because it was like, oh, okay, well, we got to go. You know what I'm saying? So, but was that your experience? Like, what was your experience like with that?
Man, it was jarring.
Because you never, I guess your perspective wasn't like mine, right?
I couldn't get past the why. What do you do with the scriptures where God says, I created the evil day? What do you do with that? The day of judgment, the day of reckoning. Mm-hmm. I created it. Now, when you think of what comes with it, you don't think about it, you just read it.
Okay.
When you think about it, if he created it, the necessity to lay blame is escapism. If what you're dealing with is judgment. If someone has to be wrong, though, if someone has to lose, that's my issue. If someone has to lose, that's not my concept of God. I'm a dad. Paternally, I don't understand that. I don't want to teach my kids anything like that. What you want to hurt your kids to teach them? What kind of nigga is you, bro?
Now, when you saying hurt, like,
because at a certain level, to let them go through is convenient for you.
But isn't it like helping you kind of at the same time, though?
How? So when I moved where I moved to, that's when I learned that struggle is relative. I saw my neighbor across the street, 16 years old, with a $40,000 vehicle waiting on him to turn 16. And then I've seen the same vehicle sitting in the car because he's sitting in the driveway because he ain't got no gas money. Struggle is relative. Who told you it's supposed to look like that? Who told you that? Who told you that? There is a culture where the kid don't crawl. He walk. Every time he try and crawl, they pick him up. He actually walked before he crawled. Who told us that? mental conditioning.
Yeah, I mean that's
it's convenient.
The progression
at a certain level, it's convenient.
Yeah, that's the progression.
To correct that baby from crawling is gonna take effort on your part.
Yeah,
it's convenient for you. It's convenient.
So that's where you get in, where you're talking about like the mental conditioning. Cause we go like, I know we didn't had a lot of offline conversations, talking about just the mental part about it. Which I agree. Like that's.
Who told you that?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, we know who tell us a lot of that stuff. A lot of that stuff is in the schools, and then, like you said, really in the church as well. You know what I'm saying? So that's where you kind of, for me personally, when I peeled off the layers, it was around the time when I got arrested and went to jail and stuff like that. So I was at a dark place during that period or during that time, right? And so I questioned everything, Christianity, you know what I'm saying, everything. So I just peeled off the layers of it. And so, but I eventually went back to it because that was the only thing that.
It was an anchor.
It was an anchor, and it made sense. Just like what they say, you train up a child, where she go, you're
what
not
you
going.
Mean it made sense?
It made sense as I kept diving into it deep. You know what I'm saying? After all the questions, after saying this ain't working, after saying this is not, I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Because I always piggybacked off my parents' faith, personally. Right, you know what I'm saying? Right.
So that's where you start.
Yeah.
It's conditioning.
Yeah.
It was given to you.
Yeah, but it could be a way of a good conditioning.
It's your frame of reference now. Now you gauge everything against it. You don't gauge it against anything.
Yeah.
And look, absolute truth should withstand a test.
Say again, what's that?
Absolute truth. You should be able to stand it up against something else.
Right. Yeah. And I did, like, I know Rag before, he's studied like the Islamic faith, or you look into it and stuff like that. Like
before I like growing up, in that church, and not just in breath, but even just in my family and stuff like that. Like, I don't know
that church. Dang,
no, I mean not that. I mean, I'm saying like our church.
Dang, bro.
Don't do that. We better than that.
That's what I'm gonna say.
We
don't
better
do
than
that.
We better than that.
Dang, bro.
We better than that. But now, like, and you may know this, a lot of people don't. But like when we moved back to Memphis, like, we started going to breath. Like, my dad was getting ready to join, breath. Doc called me in for a meeting. Was like, you don't have to join. A lot of people don't know that, like, my dad got ordained in ministry before, like, Pastor Moss and Doc, they were at my dad's ordination. Doc was like, you could be, an elder. You've been in this, long or whatever. And my dad was like, no, I can sit under you. You know what I'm saying? So, like, going back to the pressure thing, like, I felt that because of my uncle, because of their first cousin, like all throughout it, because you do it. Now, I was never conditioned. Like, I've always been one. I'm gonna do right. But me. I'm gonna do me. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it is always a thought. Like, I know what's being said, even if I might not subscribe to it, but I feel it. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, like what you were talking about, the questions, it was a lot of questions that wasn't being answered. So I was like, okay, well, let me look over here and see what this is talking about. Let me look over here and see what this is talking. Let me and so now, like when you were talking about absolute truth, let me see if what you're saying really lines up, if I can measure it against itself as well as other things to see if it really stands up. And so I was frustrated with all of it. And as an individual, it wasn't a church service. It wasn't Like I knew Slaughter. You know, I could have called Slaughter up. You know what I'm saying? Like at that point, Pastor Mike was really getting his legs. I could have called him up. You know, like I knew all the guys, Fields and Loggins and I can't think of what Terrence's last name, but him. Like I knew all them dudes. Now, in my room by myself, alone, quiet. I don't remember what my folks was doing with it, but I was at the house by myself. And at this point, it was right after I had a homeboy named Eddie who had gotten killed, and then Marion had gotten killed, and then P went through his situation where he was gonna get locked up for his stuff. And so now I'm looking at them like, with the exception of like, cause me and P did a lot of stuff together, but like, Marion was a good dude. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like he used to always tell me like, man, you need to, look, hey, you good with that music, bro. You need to focus on that music stuff, man. You got talent, man. You need to do it, man. You could do that. Like my homeboy, it was like a choir boy. And so for me, like knowing like I'm the kid who got kicked out of 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. There's a lot of folks at Breath didn't know that. Like my dad was up there all the time, like, and I was not going like turn the other cheek, like fuck that. I'm finna kick somebody in the cheeks. Like you not. I take this good suspension. Yeah. But my mama didn't raise no bitch. I ain't nobody's bitch. All that turn up, that's you. And I go to church and I know all the songs and I hold hands and do all that, but like I got a line. You know what I'm saying? But for me, like I had a one-on-one individual experience, and it wasn't about and it was a real deal of, okay, you know what? I can't go off of mom and daddy. I can't go off of my cousins or my uncle or whatever. If you're real,
right,
I need you to show me.
Show yourself.
And like I was not in school. I didn't have no prospects. You know what I'm saying? Like I had the 1.6 GPA. You know what I'm saying? With the 30-something ACT score, it's like no way you did that because you had a 1.6 GPA. There's no way you could have did that. You cheated. Like, no, I'm a cool ass nerd at the end of the day. Like I like to read, like I know stuff. Put a test in front of me, like you can be teaching, I can halfway be paying attention, I'm gonna pass it. That's what I do. Yeah. But okay, you can come to college, but you're gonna have to take out all these grants or loans or whatever. I'm like, nah, I don't want to owe nobody no money. So now I'm in the neighborhood. I can do that, but I'm seeing what's happening to people that I'm close to. And so, okay, I'm not finna go to school. Working at Kroger ain't really hitting on nothing. So I'm looking at the niggas around the neighborhood like, I can be making money, but I know how this movie's ending. So like, Lord, if you're real, I don't know what to do. I'm at a crossroads. If you're real, show me, prove it to me. And like literally between June and August, I went from no prospects to get a call from somebody who had met me a year before. One conversation, called me. He told me exactly what I had on that day, who I was with. You know what I'm saying? I posted the picture last year of the dean of my seminary, Dr. Nielsen. When I called him, he's like, "Oh yeah, I remember you went to Raleigh High School. Yeah, you were with your two friends. You had on this shirt, like." And I remember like that is exactly what I was wearing. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in the room, I'm praying like, okay, Lord, and he showed me something, clean your bookshelf. I'm like, clean my bookshelf. I'm like, what? I start cleaning my bookshelf, a book falls off. Boom, the book falls off, opens up. It's a card for Memphis Bible Institute in it. I'm talking about it hit the ground, boom. Issues like, so for me, and that was like when I talk about how when I was born and the doctor said I wouldn't live without a major heart surgery, and my dad said, I'm taking my son out of the hospital. I believe that God is going to hit. Like, that's real, but that I don't remember that. You see what I'm saying? Like, so that's your thing. You know what I'm saying? Right. But like, but in hindsight, when I look at times where I was like, okay, Lord, I need you to show me something. And then I can look at my own stuff. So then now I look back at stuff like that. So it's like, okay, that same. And I heard the story, but it was never like, you got to remember and quote these scriptures. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you got to read the Bible this much. You know, so like my parents never made us do that. Like the worst we got is if we ask questions about the scripture. He's like, okay, well, this is why we do it, but here's the scripture. You read it, you research it. Here's a dictionary. Here's a concordance. Here's the thesaurus and expository. Like, so at 7, 8, 9 years old, I'm in a freaking concordance looking up Greek words. And so then when I talk to my dad, like, ooh, I read this, and did you know that this means this and that means that, and this is what it said? And so, okay. So I was able to establish my own, I don't want to say my own faith, but I was able to figure it out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, just go that way and tell me what you see. So I walked. Oh, did you see? I saw the wall and I saw the blue and it looked like the cowboy. Oh, for real? You saw that? And that may have been the same thing he saw. You see what I'm saying? But it wasn't necessarily you got to go here, here, here. It was just you walk it out and see it. And so for me, it was in a personal experience. It was a personal walk. It was a personal journey. Now to the other side of it though, and you know this, I've said this on here. I said this to my dad last week. As a matter of fact, my relationship with God ain't going nowhere. But the subscription or prescription that I have to do it exactly this way and go I did that better than anybody that was in my age group. And you can attest because you know, you would compliment me on where I was at. You know, what did that get me? I was doing it the way you supposed to. Nigga didn't have a car. But I'm seeing people doing whatever the hell they want. And they ride and they roll and they work and they getting promoted. They getting this and I'm struggling. And the best I get is, oh, a pat on the back. Oh, good. Man, oh, you good. But then when it's time to get a specific thing or I'm going in this direction and you need somebody, it's like, oh, well, you need to do. Oh, well, you know what? You do have the qualifications, but you ain't got this. And I'm like, but I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. And after a while, that pat on the back don't mean nothing. That pat on the back don't mean nothing when I can't pay my phone bill. I didn't move back in with my folks and y'all still charging me rent. That pat on the back don't mean nothing. I can't pay y'all rent. That pat on the back don't mean nothing when all my friends are driving and they got their own apartments and they're getting engaged and married and I'm sitting up here looking crazy. But I got this principle. And so people's principle doesn't mean anything to me. But my relationship with God means everything to me. Every decision I make, I consult the Lord. Everything that I do, I pray about. If need be, I put the plate down. I cut the TV off. As much as I enjoy I put the drink, like, and I do it for fun. If need be, I go 6 months a year if I'm seeking and trying to see something. But I got to a place where what people were telling me to do, what you're supposed to do, I didn't see that. And so where I'm at, and I had to express this to my dad, where I'm at, I'm not, if people don't see me a certain way or they don't respect me a certain way, that's between them and the Lord. I'm good. Just how me and you good, just how me and my dad good, just how you and your dad good. Somebody may say, oh, Sam, how could you talk to you? But if you and your dad good, what do it matter what they think? Y'all straight. Yeah. If me and you good and somebody, JB and Shay, you and y'all done that. But if we good, what do it matter what they think? And so that's where I'm at with my relationship with God. It don't matter. I don't live it for nobody else. I don't do it for nobody else. It's not a bad reflection on you. And if you take it negatively when you see certain stuff that I do, you raised me to right. You did a damn good job. But if you feel like when I do certain stuff that you fail me, and I had to tell my dad, don't let the enemy trick you into thinking that you did a bad job. You did a phenomenal job. At this point in my life, when I do certain stuff, it's because that's what I want to do. It's not because I'm unconditional. You see what I'm saying?
Reflecting on anything else. Yeah, that was...
I never really met a lot of people that didn't really believe in God. I think the difference was location. And I think that's big. If you think God, and I think that's kind of...
Location, you mean like their place, their lot in life, I guess?
Where God is.
Okay.
If you think he's outside of you. If you know he's indwelling, there are different expectations. So just even the understanding of that, though, It kind of contradicts mental conditioning because the regiments are to appease something outside.
Yeah. And another thing I wanted to get into as well, because honestly, we actually did an episode. This was probably 3 or 4 months ago, and you hit me up. We had a good conversation about. I think it was about Phanatik. Was it about Phanatik?
Yeah.
It was about Phanatik.
Yeah, I felt bad for him, bro.
That whole situation. Now, my question to you, or both of y'all, really,
I felt bad for him.
is like, even growing up, all those Saturday specials you talked about when they say like knowledge is power, right? Mm-hmm. Like knowledge is power. But really, just for me, even I said on that, like, I don't know if y'all agree, like, how we supposed to approach God, you know what I'm saying, as little children, right? As a child. You know what I'm saying? I have little ones. I got 7, 5, and 2 2-year-olds. And so anything that I say is gospel. Whether that's, you know what I'm saying, is true or not. You know what I'm saying? If I say it, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? They're not looking for, well, some of them not like any other hidden details into it. You know what I'm saying?
You said some of them now. All right.
One of them, my oldest.
All right, that's big.
Right.
I just noticed that you said that.
Yeah.
That's huge.
The near 7-year-old, right?
All right.
But
who's coming to a different level of self-awareness.
Yeah. But I also tell him, like, oh, we going here. Oh, why are we going here? Why are we don't worry about it. This is just me. You know what I'm saying? Just like, why are we going here and there? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, those questions are coming up now. You know what I'm saying? But it's me. It's to my place as a parent, though, to keep things for me at a
where you can control it
to a surface level.
Look, period.
To a surface level.
At the end of the day, period.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. To a surface level. Yeah.
And I think I had a cheat code because I was a youth pastor for 15 years. I see I know what that trends.
Yeah.
What happens when you wake up? You want to know who been singing you to sleep.
Right.
What happened when you find out?
Find out what?
Who been singing you to sleep? Look, all right, don't worry about that. All right, look. Because I was there. Because it's like, so now what? Because low key,
mm-hmm.
You want that. It's a fence without walls. You want that.
Want what? Hold on. Want what?
The mental conditioning.
No, I mean, it's low key. It's like we hate it, but look. It's like how y'all remember the Temptations movie where them folks had broke up and they was doing the reunion tour,
yeah,
and they came back and they was practicing, and everybody was sitting, they were tired or whatever, and so everybody was talking about how tired they was, and then
you said Temptations. I can't see number 5 heartbeats.
No, so it's like ain't nobody come to see you, Otis.
Man, thinking of Robert Townsend. That's what you're thinking about,
right? But Leon was in both of them, but they were tired or whatever, and they were talking about how hard it was, and Otis was apologizing for the discipline, and then David Ruffin was like, you know what? Oh, sometimes that's what we really needed, and it's like what he was saying. It's like sometimes we hate the structure, but low key. We need it, but we just want to be able to control.
But at the same time, David Ruffin come back and say, "You niggas ain't without David Ruffin.
Right?
You ain't nothing but 4 niggas looking for David Ruffin.
Right?
Nothing but some fake ass pimps.
Without David Ruffin.
Without David Ruffin.
Y'all just 4 niggas looking for David Ruffin.
Ain't nobody come to see you, Otis.
Ain't nobody come see you, Otis.
But in the same, okay, all right. But I mean, I'll go there.
But like you said though, like he didn't want it, but then low key, he needed somebody to put those parameters around him because even though he wanted to question and book the authority,
so
it
you're
was still
liking
good
that,
to know
you're liking
that it was something to.
What are you liking?
No, how what you said? No, how what you said when you say like, so when you find out Who been rocking you sleep? What now then?
I'm just saying. What I'm saying internally, there is tension for you, and now you have to sort through that.
But all mental condition is not bad though, right? You would say that though, like because everything you can break down into mental conditioning.
I don't think it's bad because
You
that's
know
what
what I'm
we're
saying?
doing to our daughters.
But that's not bad though. You see what I'm saying?
Not when we doing it.
No, but see, we was talking about this off camera.
Where
Like
you
I
get
don't
that
though.
from?
I don't though.
You
Because I know.
So that's what I was listening to when you
Right.
said that was strong.
Because I know that because I know how I was. And so if she's anything like her daddy, the more that I try to make her not do something, the more she's going to try to do it to see if she can get away with it, how she can roll with it. So let me tell you about the fun,
That's
the
a
good,
growth
and everything
opportunity,
like
though.
that.
That's a
But
growth
then
opportunity.
Also, let me make sure you understand the reality of the possibility, because it may not happen. You may get away with it. You may escape. But it's also the other side you may not get away with. So let you see both sides of it. And so now you make the decision. And like I tell her, you're going to always be my daughter. It's nothing you can do that's going to make me not love you. But it's certain things you do that you're going to have to deal with the consequences. Like if you mess around and get pregnant, I can't carry that child for you. I can't go through that 9 months for you. I can't do that, them contractions and stuff like that.
He went to the hospital because he got drunk. But now he got a bill with the hospital.
Hey.
Exactly.
But that's
and you don't want him to go through that. But at the same time,
18, bro.
You said what? 19?
Yeah, he 19.
Because you was talking about.
But I thought they stay on. I thought they stay on your stuff until like a certain like age though. Unless that's changed. Unless you telling me something.
Hey, man, I ain't signed nothing when I went and got
okay.
Hey, bro, sign that paperwork.
I was under the impression of that.
Sign that paperwork, dog. Now I'm gonna help him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Dylan got in a situation we had to get less about him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna help him. I ain't finna leave you out there.
Right.
You know what I mean? But now they learn lasting impact. They learn it. But he 19, no. It took him turning 18 to get it. He got into trouble at 17.
Because a lot of things need to come from experience though. Well, I don't say need to.
I think it's a different lesson.
Yeah.
I think the lesson is learned differently.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was that dude. I was the one that people were telling me. Like my older brothers, like Tommy, Rodney, like they went through a lot of stuff. Baby mamas, gang activity, jail, felony charges, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, to where I saw it and I heard it, but then it's like, dang, like.
You think you're smarter.
You think you're smarter. You think
you can get away with it.
Yeah, pretty much. You know what I mean? Plus, they make the lifestyle sound.
They got that.
Good, though.
Your kids got that.
Got what?
They got that in there.
I know. And that's the...
when you said that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So a lot of it comes as we matriculate through life.
Yeah.
It's so much Pops told me. It's so much that I get now that I could tell he knew it was a pivot point. There were 2 pivot points, major pivot points.
In your life? Or are you just talking about like
in general?
In general, okay. I got you.
2 major pivot points. And I knew we knew that's what this was, this moment.
At that time, are you looking back now and be like,
no,
that's what?
At the time.
At the time, okay.
We didn't understand impact, but we knew.
Right.
We knew.
So looking at that, so I want to go back to that whole Phanatik situation. If
we're not going to talk about insurance tonight, by the way. So y'all can hang that up. That's a whole nother conversation.
Oh, we gonna talk about insurance.
Oh no, that's 8 to 5.
Day.
That's 8 to 5.
You gotta put a bling on my
right.
When I looked in the camera.
We got to get you niggas covered. You know what I'm saying? So, but I do want to, hit on that whole Phanatik situation because I think you had an interesting perspective on it. Just like, I think my point of view on it was that, like, he was, to me, when I was asking that question, like, knowledge is power, right? Like, I think you can get to a point to where you can get too much knowledge to where now you're not a child anymore to God. Now you're trying to be peers, so to speak,
to God,
to a degree, because now you're trying to gather and get so much knowledge to where you're now trying to hide that childlike demeanor that he likes or requires from us to really function in the faith.
So let me say this. Let me say what I realized one day.
Okay.
I realized that based on, was it 1st or 2nd Timothy 5, where it talked about sincere faith and shipwreck faith.
Yep. I know what you're talking about, yeah.
I realize now that you can influence shipwreck with just your message. If you focus on your shortcomings, you assume that that's why things aren't working out.
Are you talking about like stuff like to where like, oh, you didn't have this because you didn't have enough faith, or you didn't have, or
I'm not gonna say that you
just an example of, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that was
you had faith for what you got.
Okay.
Guilt made you feel like you deserve something else. So you ask, but you question, and you believe for whatever it is that you question. You question where you're really gonna get what you were feeling guilty for. That's what you question. Because you believe you deserve it. That's why that's what you get. What if I never gave you that concept? What if all I gave you was, yeah, you missed it, let's figure out how to bounce back? I can give you that one. It's a choice. It's a choice. Everything is a choice. Don't tell me the devil made you do it.
Yeah.
It's a choice. There is a pivot point where you think about the next move.
Yeah.
Period.
But it could be like the influence, though. Correct?
What they got to do with anything?
I mean,
but they go back to like what I said.
You married. You want her to go because the nigga in her ear? Or you want her to make a choice?
Right. She got to make a choice.
We gonna blame the nigga? You mad at me? Right. That's what that sound like.
Right.
Yeah. Because she made a decision to do something on her.
She decided at the end of the day, just like you do.
Yeah.
Nothing nothing gets away of that.
Yeah.
That's why I said, like, when women think a nigga cheat, because when women think we cheat because they did something, that is really arrogant. Sometimes it ain't got nothing to do with you. Sometimes it's just because I love the hoes. You're perfect. I'm the one that's like, I was looking before we even got together. And it just so happened that Megan Good offered it to me that day.
If it's Megan Good, I get it. No,
and anybody who watches this pod, no. And I'm not looking for Megan Good, but I'm just saying.
Oh, he looking.
I'm not looking, but if she showed up to me, if she approached me, so if I dance with her, I got a chance with her. That's all.
If I dance with her, I got a chance with her.
What you were saying, D? What you were saying?
Well, I'm saying, if you don't consider mental conditioning, you miss those opportunities for change and growth. If you don't consider it. If you don't consider that, maybe this is an original concept. I didn't wash a dish until I got married.
Yeah, I heard.
I had to revisit a lot of things.
That's a lot. Woo. Yeah.
So did you not wash dishes because you didn't feel like...
He thought it was girl stuff.
Did you think it was girl stuff, though?
Or did you?
No, I'm saying, but did you really think that, or did you just take advantage of the fact that
she trying to make me the hoe?
Right. In your mind, though, that's what
on the end. The end. So
that's how you felt.
That was something me and her started started saying that loud. Is that what you thought on the inside of your brain? So then you know this is internal dialogue. I'm filling in your thought bubbles.
Yeah.
You know, man. Because we do that. Man, bro, I'm a thing on my mind. Hold up, man. You know what I'm saying? What this is?
Yeah. And I could get that to a degree.
Especially when I ain't got but 2 boys. Man, I'm raising men around this junk. What is you talking about, John?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What is you on?
Yeah.
God gave me 2 men. I was on that.
Right.
Ain't no girl in me. I had to beg for a girl. I felt like God gave me 2 men so I could raise men.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't no broad in me. You hear me? Then I held Mindy. Then I was like, dang, I want one. I'm shooting the club up tonight.
Yeah. Cause you asked for Heather, I remember that. You was intentional about that.
I kept saying it.
Cause I think me and you talked about that even with my boys.
Hey,
that's what I did.
Check this out. That was after I learned of the Higgs boson.
About what?
See what I'm saying?
He wasn't listening when you talked about
See
it
what I'm saying?
off camera.
I'm just making sure I'm like
that was after I learned about that.
Yeah.
So it was a different look. It was a different intention moving forward.
Yeah.
Just imagine. That's why it look different. It's a reason it look different. Why it look different? We doing the same stuff. Talk to the same person. Why it look different?
Yeah.
Why everybody out here look different? Just lifestyle.
Because that whole thing, what you're talking about with the mental conditioning is now getting back to what I want to get into some of the conversation we had about the whole, kind of Phanatik situation.
Yeah.
Now, because honestly, that has a lot to do with mental conditioning too, in my view. You know what I'm saying? And how he came to that conclusion. You know what I mean? If people don't know what we're talking about either.
Why you say conclusion, not realization? Because for him it was a realization.
Well, I guess conclusion at the moment. Because honestly, at the time he seemed to me kind of unsure in the whole video.
In delivery.
Yeah, in delivering, he seemed kind of because he never really.
You're conscious of the damage of impact.
Yeah. Because he seemed like he knew what he wanted to say, but he didn't really want to say it.
Just some things I've shared with you all. Y'all ain't never heard it.
That is true.
I'm conscious of impact. Especially if I really believe that. If I really believe that, then that's going to impact how they believe. And that's going to...
No, I mean, I don't know. We had some conversations, though.
Yeah, but...
No, I mean, I'm saying, like, you may not have
heard
used
it outside of
specific verbiage.
You haven't heard it outside of our conversation.
No, right, exactly. What I'm saying is the stuff you're saying, me and you have talked about it, and we... like where it was at, like people wouldn't have thought that's where we was having the conversation at.
Understood.
But I knew where you were going with it. Like, and when you said it, like you knew that I knew where you were going with it, even though somebody on the outside may not have known that. So, like I know.
I think that's part of the responsibility.
Right?
Though.
Yeah, exactly. And even some of the stuff you said off camera is like you said that like you understand the position that you hold directly and indirectly and the way that it can be perceived.
Right.
People don't really know the heart where it's coming from.
Right.
You just hear what I'm saying, but you don't know. Right. You don't know
the research.
anything above the surface.
We haven't talked about any research.
Yeah.
And no one, like Phanatik, will make those types of assertions without research.
Yeah. I mean, But there
is a lot to recant if you're incorrect. Which was the purpose of the video. It was to recant an assertion. This is where I was. This is where I am. That's all the video was. You do you. This is where I was. This is where I am.
Yeah. To a degree, but he also pretty much.
And this is why I'm here.
Right.
What is he supposed to do?
Walking out privately.
If he thought he did that stuff in error? He's not supposed to try to write
like,
look. He started laughing before he got through saying it.
No,
absurdity.
Because
you need an absurdity button. I would have pushed it.
Because we haven't made no new awards up.
So Bro said walk it out.
The Big Sam absurdity.
He didn't even say walk it out privately. What he said was walk it out. He said it laughing.
Because I thought, like I said, I thought he was real.
He's not gonna let you finish. Every time you get ready to explain,
I want to know. Seriously.
No, because I thought he was, you know what I'm saying, very fickle in how, he even approached it. Because to me, he was kind of rambling in the whole video. Now, if people don't know, like, we're talking about Phanatik. He's a legend in the gospel hip hop Christian. He pretty much denounced Christianity in the video. You know what I'm saying? But he did that to me softball. He never.
Did he denounce Christianity?
Yeah. I mean, were those his words?
Right.
Like, knowing, yes.
And
knowing,
so that's
yes.
why I'm saying location is huge, because that's a different conversation. Even when I remember the first time I was prepping to talk to an atheist. And then when I talked to the atheist, it wasn't he didn't believe in God. He didn't believe in God being outside of himself.
So he was more agnostic than atheist.
He wasn't an atheist, but they were conditioning me to think this is atheism.
Right.
So
he had a concept of a God or higher power.
He actually believed in God.
Right.
That's different than in the
very different.
God
Yeah, it's very different. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. So you don't think he was pivoting or saying that in that whole?
I feel like there was information he didn't know how to interpret yet or how to ingest, and because he didn't know how to interpret or ingest that, he didn't know how to reconcile that with his message.
But to my point, is that beneficial to now spread it out on a video to where you're not even being clear in exactly what you're saying, and so now
it's really a thing of once the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't. I don't think it was a message for everyone. I think it was a message for people that were searching.
And so, looking at that, you think they found?
I think they found him. And I think that they'll continue the journey with him. I think it's just about finding who your voice resonates with. That's what this is.
Right.
There's several people that can have several opinions. Just even about what takes place on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
If you poll be this, how this is. If this poll be that, what's this? It's about finding who your voice resonates with. Because that's who you're going to heal with. If that's the intention. You know what I mean? I question the necessity of classism and separatism, and I question that. I don't understand just from a paternal aspect. I would want all my kids cool. I wouldn't want them to know about something that I wouldn't want them to not know about something that they're knowingly hurting themselves, and I know about it and they don't know about it. I wouldn't want that for my kids. Like you're sadistic, if that's who you are. Keep it a book. You got kids, bro.
Yeah.
You want them to suffer because they ain't know. Like we don't objectively, we don't ask. I don't think we ask questions.
As adults, or you talking about like kids? Or something?
I think we suppress them as kids, so that's why we don't revisit them as adults.
Mhm.
That's why he said, "Come like a child." And he say, "Don't ask."
Right. He didn't say not
There's
ask.
not one time he say don't ask.
Right.
Not one time. Not one time. Are you told not to question?
Right. You're supposed to question. Like that's what I was
What
saying.
else will validate it for you?
Right. Cause that's even with my oldest. Like he asks a question and stuff like that, but then to the parent is how you deal with that and how you.
My 19-year-old said something to me 3 weeks ago. I did not know how to respond. Because now he is a 19-year-old man with his own concept of what manhood should look like. So the things he questioned now, I can't sugarcoat that for you. Period.
Right. And especially at that age.
In his mind. Did what he said. Cause this where we at. Man, that's whole shit.
Mm-hmm.
What you gonna do with your little with your son?
Yeah.
In his mind, when he realized, when he look at it objectively and look at the behavior, no, it's just you. That ain't cool. Man, that's whole shit. Man, you got fam. At a certain point, you can do all of that. You see what I'm saying? They gonna know just like you found out.
Yeah.
When they find out, who do you want them to meet? And is this gonna be a stranger? Cause then what you gonna do? When they see you, because at that point they see you for who you really are.
Yeah. And that's the gap, I think. Well, both of y'all, you got a teenager. Both of y'all got teenagers. You got two teenagers, right? You got two.
My baby boy 16.
Yeah.
Dylan 16?
Yeah, his baby boy the same age.
Dylan 19.
No.
Yeah,
Sam,
no,
okay.
Sam the same age.
I saw Sam. He was kind of little.
Few months older than
like
Sheridan.
Sam 16.
Like he lifting weights or something like that.
He does. Curly.
That what he look like.
Night.
You see that man in the picture, he's looking like I saw
Get my hater with my weight and pay him back when no bigger. And what Pac said, get my hater with my weight, pay him back when I'm bigger.
But to me, tell me if I'm wrong. Like, but if I think every child when they get older and stuff like that, they're gonna see their parent a little bit differently as they grow older and as they realize as a man. Like that's what I did even with my pops. That's how me and my pops got closer as I got toward certain ages, because it was like, dang, like
how easy was it for it to go the opposite direction?
Then to get closer to him?
Yeah. Because you might realize that y'all two different too.
Right.
Two different type of dudes.
It was. It was exactly like that. But as I, you see.
What did you start to value more?
When?
That made you overlook the differences?
Just the experience and struggle of life. You know what I'm saying? Just like.
What did you see in him during that time?
His humanity.
Okay.
I saw, his his heart, his really drive and stuff that
his motivating factors.
Right.
Yeah.
His real the real stuff behind it. Not just stuff that I, as a kid, as in a 14, 15-year-old kid, like my pops, we were taking these tennis lessons. I grew up playing tennis and stuff.
He taught me tennis at 14.
He did. I remember that. It was at the park up the street, right?
He taught me tennis, bro.
Right.
Yeah, right.
He tried to teach me, and he was like, "Rag, you can't be helped." And that was that on it.
Hey, he taught me 2 summers, bro.
I remember. I was
I'm
out there.
cold. Hey, I'm decent now because of him.
He
I'm cold on a regular month. A regular cat, they don't want to see me.
So basically, you were saying if we was playing, you kick my ass. It's cool.
Man,
you ain't gotta say it that way. It's
bruh.
He probably get you with that.
Nah,
Bro,
He probably get you.
easy.
Give me
He
the
probably get you
business.
with that.
Easy.
But
And
just
then, you know, I smoked a whole lot of black and mild, so I'd be out there.
Once I get the serve down, I'm still patting the serve like that to hit the right box.
you still pitter patting with the whole thing.
On the serve. Just on the serve. Just because you got to get in the box.
Right.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't know. I can serve,
I
but
ain't
if you
get
volley,
to-
it's over with. If you hit it back, it's over.
Well, you
with.
gotta
So
get
you know that when you serve, you got to hit it inside the
right?
first
Yeah,
box.
no, that's what I'm saying. But if you return
Well, you
it,
gotta get
And
to
you
that
can
point.
serve like
yeah, that's what I'm
I'm
saying.
not
But
buying it.
but if you
Tough shit, I'm
volley,
saying.
if you volley,
You gotta get to that point.
oh no, that's what I'm saying. Like I was on the Raleigh Egypt High tennis team, and I'm gonna tell you now.
It's not
Right?
impressed.
No. she was before me.
Corla was on the job.
Yeah.
Nah, I think she may have been on tennis or golf. I know
Because
she
you
was
know,
on golf.
I
you
ain't
know,
know
I
Raleigh
was
Egypt
like
had a
DJ
golf
got me
team.
and DJ was actually pretty decent, right? But like me,
No, I played
oh,
DJ. I played DJ.
Yeah, no, I mean,
So
I'm
he
saying
wasn't
I don't know what
decent.
he.
Is that what you're saying?
No, nigga, you was ranked number 3 in the state.
I beat.
Yeah,
I beat.
I feel like you
I
were
beat.
cold.
This man was number 3 in the state. He
You
like
cold.
I
DJ was
beat-
like number 7
I
in
beat,
the city. He was number
Like
3
your
in the
pops
state.
was my teacher.
I
Come
beat.
on,
I
man.
beat DJ 8-0. You know
That's what I'm saying, nigga. You was
8-0.
number 3 in the state.
Easy.
DJ was number 7 in the city.
Easy work.
That
It
was
was
Which
easy
means
work.
he would have been like number
It was
35 in the state.
state.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Easy work.
Oh no, but you would have like no.
Now that was it. That was.
Oh no,
whatever
because I
with
got
that.
my ass kicked.
But
So you feel like Phanatik was wrong?
wrong. I don't. That's a harsh word. But if I had to generalize it, I'd be like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because of, to me, he was still processing a lot of stuff in the video. Because it wasn't nothing absolute. It was just a lot of, to me, kind of rambling, kind of like he processes in the moment to where it's like,
Conjecture, maybe.
yeah. Like it wasn't nothing like, hey, this is what I'm on. This is how I feel.
I think it's because it's not finite though. I think it's a rabbit hole. If you look
Did you hear the ambassador's response to his video though?
Yeah.
I didn't.
He went in on that.
And so what
Look,
I would say it like this though.
Look, and he would have.
But I say it
wouldn't
like this
expect
though.
him not.
Like,
Right.
but really though, the meat and potatoes of what he said is not so much in the things that he was saying, but it was just like when you've experienced not just what somebody told you, what you've been conditioned to, what you heard. Like you went and came and researched and you came to these conclusions yourself. And so for you to come to these conclusions yourself, but then go back because of some other things other people are saying and other stuff maybe you don't have an answer to, and you already question yourself and you came to this conclusion on your own, and then because like, oh, Shay said something, oh, dang, but you're negating everything that you experienced over here. Like you know this for a fact yourself. You experienced this on your own because I say something, now you're questioning. That was kind of the place that he was coming from.
I need to listen to it again because I didn't think it to be
like
an
I said,
attack
but
on the faith.
But I would say, well, no, but he also said too though
I did
that he didn't consider what he said an attack on the faith.
I didn't.
either, though.
I didn't.
You know,
I saw
Ambassador
it-
said the same
I
thing. He didn't
saw
consider
it
an attack
as a
on the faith.
realization. I saw it as a reckoning,
Yeah.
like within himself.
Yeah, I think that was that moment. But then I look at it just like what you said earlier, just talking about you're aware of who you're talking to,
Impact.
the impact of it,
Impact.
and stuff of that nature. And so now, honestly, like when
Because
you-
if it works for someone, you don't want to be responsible. If the law of attraction is what it is, you don't want to be responsible for having them shift that energy.
Mhm.
If the law of attraction can shift from sincere to shipwreck,
Right. So do you think you don't think anything that was said in that video could lead to shipwreck? Because for me, I say yes. As far as
I
His-
think traditional deliverance of the gospel lends more to it.
Well, I mean, what would you consider traditional?
Yeah, I get the abuse of grace. I get it.
Yeah, I think we all abuse it, really, to a degree. You know what I'm saying? Like
So it's not new then.
abusing it
Or the concept.
or the concept. No, I think that's what Jesus came for. I mean, not to abuse it, but just you know,
Who killed him? His church killed him. His church killed him. The government was like, leave me alone, leave me out of this. His church killed him.
his church. Hold on,
Read the story, bro.
I'm rethinking it now. I'm thinking like
No, because
when you say the church,
when you say the government, like Pilate,
yeah,
washed his
Pilate
hands
was
of
the
the whole
government.
thing.
yeah,
He
right, with the
basically
government.
was like, this man is
Who
innocent.
was pressing the issue?
He was like, this
Right,
man is
right.
innocent. I'm washing my hand up.
Yeah,
So
But-
there was a system that I don't think the system is different.
then back in that time,
I mean, but going back to what he was talking about, mental conditioning, like the reason why, and this is where research comes in, the reason why they set Barabbas free, he was a political prisoner. He was someone who was trying to overthrow the government.
right,
Judas Iscariot was somebody who was of that same mindset of, oh, he coming, we finna overthrow the Romans.
Right.
Part of his reason of betrayal was not about the money.
Yeah.
It was about the fact, like,
He
Right.
betrayed
oh,
him.
you fit, which is exactly why he brought all them Roman soldiers, because he's seen all these miracles. So now I'm finna force your hand. When they come and try to get you, you gonna have to, what Kevin Hart said in his rain fire on these, but you gonna have to get them. and so he was like, I'm gonna go right up to the person,
Yeah.
because he was anticipating when I go up to him, now he's gonna have to react.
Show who he is.
You see what I'm saying? And so he saw in that moment when Jesus is like, I could call down 12 legions of angels, but
right,
I'm gonna let y'all slide. Which is why, and again, the mental conditioning, we demonize Judas. He was actually the only one who showed repentance, although it was self-righteousness. He was so remorseful that he thought, I'm gonna kill myself.
This the only way. This
This
is
the only way.
Right.
But
Look,
he
look.
legitly tried
felt
to
sorrow.
give, exactly. He legitly tried to give the money back.
Yeah.
He legitly tried to make it right. He tried to do it within himself.
Mm-hmm.
Think he would have had the greatest
Eve.
testimony of everybody.
We demonized Eve.
And it goes back to what you're saying.
I
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
what
you
he
blame
tell
the nigga.
Eve? What he tell Eve?
Yeah.
That you not like God. This will make you like God. What Eve really say when she ate?
I want to be like God.
I want to be like God.
Mm-hmm.
That's different.
Yeah.
I
Now-
want,
But now I was saying, like, so a lot of the Jewish people thought that when Jesus came, and which is why Herod was killing all the babies, like, whoever this Messiah is
Yeah,
going
he
to overthrow.
gonna-
It's going to bring a war.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He had one of his own disciples. Judas thought, like, when this person comes, it's going to be a revolution. Like, the word Iscariot means son of Carioth. That was
all of
actually
them did though.
not a
Yeah.
religious
All of them
sect.
thought that's how he was supposed
Yeah,
to come.
but it was
Right.
a group of people who thought that, like, when this Messiah comes, he's going to overthrow the government. And then he sees Jesus moving and ain't doing none of that. So I'm going to speed up the process. Doesn't happen. But Pilate is like, this dude innocent.
Right.
I wash my hand. Y'all do it. But they're like, okay, you know what? We're going to set free the dude who was killing, to try to overthrow the government.
Not gonna be on my hands.
You see what I'm
yeah.
saying? And so, on the one hand, you do have that mental conditioning, and we all have it to a degree in certain things.
I think we all do. Like,
Yeah,
so-
like
can't get
I'm
away
not
from it.
arguing
You
it. I'm
You
not
have
arguing
to
it.
challenge it.
Right.
I ain't saying it's wrong. I'm
Right.
saying challenge it.
right.
But
I'm
my
saying if
thing
it's true,
is though,
if it's true, it'll stand.
when you've experienced certain like that, and that's my part of it.
Yeah.
If you're somebody who doesn't know and you're just going off of what you heard and what somebody told you, but like you've experienced certain things, and I remember, and Crown can attest to this. I was talking to some of the dudes that used to be in their group. Last show we did with the label we were part of, we were at this church. We didn't even get to perform. Like, they were always the opening, you know, act. They would do their one song, then we'd do another song, and then we go into like the 20, 30-minute show. They started doing their song. They were doing the chorus. Like, the music hadn't even come on. They started doing the chorus of their song. This was in the church that taught that, like, you know, the Holy Spirit and the gifts of the Spirit had passed out. They started doing the chorus of the song. Kids, 6, 7, 8, 9, they just started crying. They started praying in tongues.
Mm-hmm.
They got their hands up. They're crying. They're weeping. And they just started praying. And so now the grown folks in the back going to the mental condition, they can't believe it because we've been teaching and telling you, like, this ain't it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what to say because here I am. I've been saved 20, 30 years. I ain't never did it. And my grandson, my nephew, my son, he's doing it. And I'm sitting up here looking goofy because we've been teaching this. And I'm talking about wasn't a single one. And we're standing, but we started looking at each other like, oh my God. Like, and keep in mind, we do that at our church. Like, we do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up here. It wasn't strange to me, but just to see, I had heard people talk about it. I had never seen it. And it wasn't no prayer. It wasn't no scriptures being read. They started doing the chorus to their song. And I mean, I'm talking about snot and tears coming out of their eyes. And like, they just started doing, so like when you have an experience, like somebody punched you in the face, I can't tell you that didn't hurt. You felt it. You got the knot on your face.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So that's like you getting hit in the face. You got the knot. It hurt. You had to go to the hospital and all that. And then you saying, you know what? When I experienced that, it was just the concept and the thought and the idea of pain that I just can't go through. And no, you know what if you had to call off work, like we had to buy the alcohol. You know that, and that from my aspect, that was having met him, opened up for him, done a show with him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, we had a conversation. I'm listening to you talk. This ain't I know conditioning. I grew up around conditioning. I went to seminary with conditioning. I'm hearing you talk. That ain't conditioning. You realize, you know, like I know. You got something that you experienced like I experienced. Like, we connected on that because I'm listening to you. That goes beyond what I heard in your music. Oh, like, this is for real, for real. So now, though, I'm listening to the video. I'm not questioning if that's where you are, because I respect you as a person.
Yeah.
And as a brother. If that's where you at, cool. But I question because I remember when we had this conversation. And it wasn't no cameras, it wasn't no microphones, it wasn't no audience. It's like how even though it's people gonna be watching the pod, but it was an intimate setting, and it's just me and him rapping, and you're telling me, and you're volunteering it. I didn't just grill you. What about this? Like, you're telling me what you did and how you walked and how it happened for you, just step by step. I'm like, wow, for real, dang. And so now for you to go back, but it's based off of, and you're going off of stuff you're seeing in the world and things you have. And that's not to invalidate that. All of that may be true, but that doesn't negate your own experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
where you get faith for an experience, though? I thought you could even do that without faith for it.
No, I mean,
and you can't have faith apart from someone having told you about it, because faith doesn't come apart from hearing.
Yeah.
So where do you get the faith for it? Because if you have to have faith for that, I thought.
No, that's true. I mean, but it's a difference in hearing something and believing it can happen and being conditioned. Conditioning is almost like training.
Conditioning was set expectation.
Yeah, but I mean, but like playing sports in high school, when you did conditioning, it was a training. It was a constant repetitive thing of
to set expectation.
True, but if I hear something one time, that's not necessarily conditioning.
Right.
Because I haven't gone through a process of training.
That's all I'm saying. So where did they get the faith for it from?
No, but again,
or else this is another, or else this is a contradiction that is inherent within it.
Well, I'm just saying from the sense of not necessarily growing up in it and constantly hearing it and constantly
I'm just saying
learning
by
about it.
its own standard.
One time you start studying
but
and
by
researching.
its standard, by its own, not ours, not mine, not yours, not his. By its standard, it has to be accompanied with the faith for it.
I get you what you're saying on that. I get you what you're saying on that, because
And so every time there was a healing that took place that Jesus was a part of. Why?
Because the people.
So are you gonna tell me the law of attraction ain't real? Because then you gotta tell me the law of gravity ain't. And then you gotta prove it. Because I found law of attraction in the Bible.
Well, I look at it like how it's being, this conversation we're having is being recorded. So if all somebody has is what you're saying, and it doesn't mean
I don't want them to have that.
No.
That's why I said offline.
No. What I'm saying
Because
is
so this is what I'm
right.
after.
No.
I'm
not. No.
Empathy.
Stay with me.
Right,
What I'm saying is like if all somebody has is what I'm saying, y'all are here. Y'all can validate it, but if they only hear what I'm saying, technically that's just my version of it. Even though y'all can validate and verify it.
We have our own versions of it.
JB can JB can talk about what we talked about in here, but he's not exactly going to quote every single line and thing that I say or every single line that you say. But what he's saying is based off his perspective of what he's seeing in that moment. That's his version, even though it doesn't mean that my version is fake.
Understood.
Just like it don't mean that your version is fake. And but if you listen to everything that we're saying,
if that is your frame of reference.
But you know what? Like
if
this
how is what you're gonna base your truth on.
When somebody goes to,
I get to test it.
If we were all convicted or accused of committing a crime, the way they would know that we were lying is if every single person's story sound exactly 100% the same, because that means that we rehearsed it and made it up. Because now generally, if we're all here, it's gonna be some consistent things that lined up but common sense know that it's gonna be some stuff that you notice that I may not. It's gonna be some stuff that I may notice that y'all may not, and vice versa.
Right.
It's gonna be some consistent thing. We were all at JB's house. That's gonna be consistent. The room is blue and white. That's gonna be consistent.
The vantage point. Yeah.
I may be talking about Vic playing on his phone. You may be talking about the microphone in your face. JB may be talking about the TV behind him, and all of those things are true. But if every single one of us is exactly 100 the same exact thing, I came in at 10 and we sat down at 10:05 and we talked till 10:22, they're gonna be like, they rehearsed that. Because most people know that your vantage point is gonna be some certain things that all of us point out and know, and that's why when you look at certain things, yes, it may be Sam's version, it may be Shay's version, it may be JB's version, but it's going to be certain things that are on point, right? And then in certain stuff that you may have, oh, well, Sam said he saw 2 women sitting in the room, and Shay said he saw 5 dudes, and it may have been 7 people in the room. But from where you were sitting at, you only saw the 2 women. From where I was sitting at, I saw the 5 dudes. Where JB was sitting at, he only saw the computer screen. Well, JB didn't have no people, but because of where he was sitting at, and it doesn't mean that our stuff is invalidated.
Right.
It just means that it's coming from different perspectives and vantage points.
So what if that's what different religions were? Different vantage points and perspectives of
possibly,
God.
But then that means too, though, going back to what we both were saying,
and that's what
it's certain stuff that's exactly going to line up, and it's not going to contradict.
So something like the 7 spiritual laws of success, or 7 spiritual laws that are uniform in every religion. What do you do with that information?
To me, I think that could be a slippery slope, because actually I was going to ask y'all because I think we talked about this before, even some years ago. Oprah, when they talk about the oneness and different stuff like that, but then they could be saying this, but they can just be saying what we say is like Holy Spirit, or something like that of that nature, potentially. But to me, I think it's a slippery slope, even when talking about the Phanatik thing, because I think a lot of the stuff now, they're mixing a lot of the religions together, and it's really, you know what I'm saying, they're coming up like
Are
this.
they mixing them together, or are they only talking about the things that are consistent within the mob?
Both. Could this one dude, you've heard of Eckhart Tolle?
Yeah.
Eckhart Tolle. So, you know, if y'all haven't listened to Kendrick Lamar's recent album, it's, you know, Kendrick Lamar has always been kind of an abstract spiritual guy in his lyrics, right? But even if you look at, you know, he has a lot of Eckhart's imprint on this particular album. You know what I'm saying? And so if you look at Eckhart and what he's actually saying, it's, you know, it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? He's dealing with, you know, he don't believe heaven is an actual place, and, you know, a lot of other stuff. But he also agrees with you know, the basic stuff of Christianity as far as Jesus, and he was a good dude, and how, you know what I mean? So it's like, for me, when I hear Phanatik talk about what he said kind of in that video, it just kind of gives me vibes of when I hear or see the influence of Eckhart Tolle, because he was pretty much nobody until he got on Oprah's show years ago, and so Oprah validated him, and now he has a whole type of, I don't know if you want to call it a religion or a movement, to where he's, you know what I'm saying, imprinting Christianity and kind of, in my view, like kind of Buddhism, you know, maybe even Hinduism in there, to where
common consistencies.
Yeah. Some of it.
I'm saying what he's done.
Yeah.
Is basically mesh the common consistency.
Right.
But what is he dealing with, though? What is he talking about? He's not really talking about salvation. He's talking about human experience.
Yeah, he's talking about you being mentally
and human experience.
Yeah.
So he's talking about how to address suffering.
Yeah. But basically dealing with it within yourself. You know what I'm saying?
So that's why I say it deals with location. Whenever you deal with something, you deal with it within yourself. Even if you say you're praying to God outside yourself, you generate the thoughts within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's what precedes the spoken word, a thought. That is internal dialogue. Because you don't choose to isolate that experience, it's not necessarily on anybody else. Somebody else may isolate that experience.
Right.
And is an origin. And they deal with things from that perspective.
Do you think that's a good thing, though? As far as is when you
for the people that message resonates with, I do.
Man, they ain't telling me nothing, though. I mean, it's gonna resonate. I mean, if you were at a certain place, it's gonna be.
When you got saved, where that conversation happened?
You said where? At home?
No, he wanted to say internally. It wasn't internal.
Yeah. You talking about like okay?
Yeah.
Listen, what made you say that?
No, exactly. I could just tell the way
exactly.
I could tell the way you was giving him the face.
I ain't gotta say that.
I can tell the way you was giving him the face.
Right. I want you to tell me the truth. I want you to tell me the truth.
I mean, but when you think about it though, and I'm not arguing or debating that point, but like even scripturally, like the implication is that it's internal. You know what I'm saying? Romans 10:9. You know what I'm saying? You have to believe where in your heart. And then, whereas you talked about the thought, it starts with the thought, and then you speak it, verbalize it out of your mouth. So I'm not debating that. I'm not debating that, but it's the acknowledgement though of the external becoming internal.
Help me with that.
Because again, you're believing what? You're believing something outside is inside, coming inside, taking a hold of you inside.
Let's say this is God. This is man. Everything that's in this cap is in here.
Right. But it had to come from where though?
I think honestly, right.
It came from external to the internal.
Is it still not the same?
True, but it had to come.
So that's why I said a conversation about location.
Right, but it had. But I'm just saying it came.
You see what I'm saying? We're not necessarily arguing a different point now.
Yeah, but I'm just saying
we're arguing location.
Right. No, I'm not arguing location. I'm just saying until you brought it in there though. So now
what's
if you put
in
it
here?
back in there,
what's in here?
It's what was in there.
So can you put that back in there?
Yeah.
When you put that back in there, then what happened? This is lifeless and dead.
Right.
So it went back to where it came from.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is, but it takes something from the external to come internal.
He put it there when he said he breathed into man. He the one who said he put it there. He said that.
Okay, but right after the separation between
he
God
said
and man because
he
of sin,
did it.
What's that?
He said he breathed into
right.
man.
No, he did. But then what caused the separation?
So now you have to deal with sin.
Exactly, but check this
So
out.
what is sin?
Gave them the blueprint.
What is sin? Sin is error in thinking.
It's not just error in thinking.
I mean,
it can be that, but it's also the action though.
It's thinking
the
and
action. The action is an expression. The action is an expression of the thought.
The thought, right.
Yeah.
So is it not an error in thinking? Because her error in thinking was that you weren't like God.
Right. But
so her eating the fruit was an expression of the error.
But you gotta remember this though. That the whole time Adam was right there.
Understood.
Because it said she turned after she did it. It didn't say she went and found.
What does that have to do with what the word SYN means?
So he set up. So that G just like you. You a married man. You a married man. That'd be just like you watching a nigga run game on your woman, and not saying you do nothing. You just watch it.
What that got to do with the original sin, though?
Right. So who was at fault though? Because he was the one. When she was rehashing what was said. She messed up in what she said. And he was right there the whole time, and he didn't check her on it one time.
So he said
so the whole time. I'm not saying she wasn't, but I'm saying the whole time the game was being ran on her, he said nothing. He sat up there and watched it. He listened to her mess up. He watched her eat it.
But I thought we were dealing with the original sin, not everything that happened after the original.
No. That was all a part of it. That wasn't
it's not a part of it. These are effects. It's cause and effect. It's not a part of it. It happened because of.
No, so again,
it's an impact.
So check this out though. When was it? When did God come looking for them?
The book says
after Adam ate it.
The book says he came
after Adam
time.
realized when Adam ate it, they didn't realize they were naked till Adam ate the fruit.
Right, but that wasn't when he came. It wasn't like, "Ooh, I got you." What kind of God is that?
And then they went and covered themselves up.
Right. And then you asked when did he come, and I'm saying he came at his normal time every day.
Right.
That's why he was asking questions because things were off center. These things were not reconciling. Things were different. This day that I come at the normal time, things are different.
Right. And why?
Perspective.
No, I'm saying, but why were they different?
Because of her perspective, their perspective of themselves.
No, I mean, and I'm not saying that she wasn't wrong. I'm just saying it's not like she did it and then she went and found him, or she was off somewhere. She messed up. She had to process it and did it.
I didn't say that at all.
He was right there. He was right there the whole time.
I said the error in thinking was like this. You're not like God.
You got two sons, an older one and a younger one. If the younger one does something, if they're together,
I thought we were talking about sin.
We are, but this is what I'm saying.
Okay.
As a dad, if your two sons are together, and the youngest son does something, and the oldest one is right there, yeah, you may correct the youngest one, but you're gonna say something to the oldest one because it's like, why were you right there and you let him do that? It's not like he came and found you. You heard about it. You sat there and watched your little brother do that, and you were right there. And that's what I'm saying. I created you first. I created you in my image and likeness first. I breathed my breath into you first. Even though this is your equal partner, the lesser equal of you, y'all are joint together in this, but I made you first. I gave you the word and the command first, and you sat up there and watched her do it. And he had an opportunity to do like what Jesus did and say, hey, I dropped the ball. You know what? Don't put it on her, because that's what Jesus did. Don't put it on the world, put it on me. He could have said, I'll take it, I'll own this. But he was like, no, you made this woman for me. It's her fault. And then she followed his lead.
He wanted to lay blind.
And she followed his lead. Wasn't me, it was this snake. And the snake was like, I ain't got nobody to blame. So everybody took a hit from it. But Adam had an opportunity to do exactly what Christ did and say, put it on me. I saw my wife and she was naked. I didn't want to see her naked. Let me own that.
But I thought we were talking about the original sin.
And again,
not
but
the
it was
effects
not
of
the
it.
thought.
Not the effects of it.
Because he told them what would happen if they did it. And he gave them a choice.
What did he say was going to happen?
He said, if you do it, you will surely die. But the word death means separation. You're going to be separate from me. Now you're not going to be connected to me. But the deeper implications of that.
At what point is sin no longer mean error? If that's what it originally means. When does the meaning change?
Okay, but it's not. It doesn't mean error as in, like. It doesn't mean error like when you trip, you're running and you trip. It's like you willfully decide that you're going to do what you want to do. You know what you're supposed to do, but you make a decision and a choice to do something different than that.
I wouldn't count a trip as an error. I think that would be different. I think an error is knowingly.
I mean, like when you do your homework, like I used to be a teacher.
So
when
what
I
you're
said you made an error, it wasn't intentional.
What's the sin? What's the sin then? The sin was Adam not telling her don't eat.
The willful disacknowledgement of I know what I'm supposed to do, but I'm not going to do what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to do the opposite of what I'm supposed to do. And the enemy.
What made you do that?
But just like the enemy.
What prompted that? What was a trigger?
So with Eve, you said it earlier. Eve wanted to be like God. She saw a deficiency within herself.
So that's all I'm saying was the original sin. All I'm saying was the original sin was she saw deficiency in herself.
Right, but the thing with Adam is that like
I haven't gotten to him yet. I didn't say he's absolved. What I said was the original.
And it wouldn't have been no issue if he wouldn't have done it.
If he wouldn't have done what?
They didn't realize they was naked till he ate the fruit. Because she ate it. She saw it was good for food. She ate it. And then she turned and gave it to Adam. And then when he ate it, then after he ate it, they looked and they both saw. She didn't even realize she was naked or he was naked after they ate the fruit. It didn't happen until
she didn't realize until he said something wrong with you.
Okay, but when did that happen? After he ate it.
After she said, I'm not like God.
Okay, but again, you had to
How
do the
is it
action.
okay? That's it. When you say okay, that's the point. We're looking for an origin.
Right. You can have a thought.
We're not looking for expressions of it. We're looking for the origin.
Okay. When Cain and Abel happened, what did God tell Cain? In essence, he basically told him, check your thought. You got a thought. Deal with your thought. If you don't deal with your thought, you're going to commit a sin.
Cain and Abel is after the entrance
of sin. I get that, but I use that example to say you have to deal with your thought.
If you use that as an example, you're dealing with the effect.
That's a different situation.
It's the effect of sin.
No, like when they made the sacrifice and Cain got angry. And God told him, I realize you're angry. You got a thought. Deal with your thought. And that's what we're talking about.
This is not after Eve sinned.
No, but you're talking about the thought process.
I'm talking about the
God told
Cain
was you got to deal with your thought.
When you first think that you are deficient.
Okay, but again, going back to that, if she would have dealt with the thought.
So Cain wouldn't have.
Okay, but if she would have dealt with the thought, would she have committed the sin?
So Cain is a byproduct.
But if she would have dealt with the thought, would she have? She didn't deal with the thought.
Right.
And that's why I used that example. And the example of Cain and Abel was God actually told him, deal with this thought. You said earlier that sin is a result of our thoughts coming into fruition. We get the thought first and then we act upon the thought.
What I said was the word sin meant error in thinking. That's what I said.
Right, and you said it started from a thought.
Agreed.
So, but now if I deal with the thought and I don't actually commit the action,
Right.
I only have to deal with my thing and the thought. That's all I got to deal with. I ain't got to deal with the consequence of the action. I only got to deal with the thought.
The action, you dealt with it.
Exactly my point.
So
action, if I fix the thought,
is the action not an expression of
the thought? If I don't deal with the thought,
okay, help me.
And so what I'm saying is so like when you wake up and your alarm goes off in the morning, some mornings you may have a thought like, I don't want to get up and go to work. If you deal with that thought and you say, you know what, I got to be accountable, I got to be responsible, I got to feed my family, I don't want to get whatever your reason and rationality is. When you deal with the thought, you're going to get up, you're going to go to work, you're going to be on time, you're going to be productive. But if you don't deal with the thought and you just constantly sit up there and think about it, or you just say, I ain't going to think about it, or you say, you know what, this thought, this feels good, I'm going to go back to bed. Now you got to deal with the consequences of the action produced by you not dealing with the thought. And so in that same way, I want to be like God, but she didn't realize I'm already created in the image and likeness of God.
So is that
she didn't deal with the thought.
Sin?
No, she acted upon the thought.
Right, but the sin, that was an expression of a thought.
Right.
That was an
because
expression
she didn't
of the
deal
sin.
with the thought.
So was the sin, if sin is error in thinking, is the thought not a process of thinking?
I'm not debating that. What I'm saying is that we all get thoughts. It's what we do after we get the thought. If I entertain and meditate on the thought.
All I said was sin was error in thinking. You started talking to me about Adam.
No, you the one who started. You went on that. Okay. I just started expounding upon it.
I thought the sin, the original sin.
Right. That's why I started talking about it, because you started talking about the original sin.
So I'm thinking the original sin was Eve thinking she's not like God.
But it was the acting on that. It wasn't just the thought process. It's when you start entertaining and you start exactly.
I just said what a sin was.
Because it's just like.
So this is our debate. The debate is, what is sin? So is sin the thought, or is sin the expression of the thought? That's what the debate is, bro.
Okay, but even in that, I believe it's how you deal with the thought. Because when I say, but this is what I'm saying. If I say, hey, this wall is blue, or JB's room wall is blue,
azul.
When I say that, you're gonna think, okay, azul is Spanish for blue.
That's all I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is when I say that, you think about it. When I say words, thoughts are gonna come because you hear words.
But if you deal with conditioning, once you start if I'm not conditioning to hear it in Spanish, though, I wouldn't think azul.
But I'm just saying, once you start to entertain and deal with the thoughts, let's assume we all speak the same language that we all understand. When you hear something and you start to entertain it or process it, it's what you do with it. It's
how you express.
So it's like. I say, it's just like when somebody say, oh, you ain't never thought about no gay stuff before. You can't hear or watch something and see some stuff without thinking it. Now, you can entertain it, or you can, that ain't me, and cast it down. And that's the difference.
We're dealing with an expression of it. That's all we're talking about. We're talking about the thought and the expression.
In order to express it, you have to have entertained it. That's all I'm saying. If I don't entertain it, I'm not going to express it.
All I said was sin was an error in thinking.
But this, I've been offered cocaine before. It was not something that I wanted to do. I didn't entertain it. Now, when they said, "Hey, I got some, man, you want to toot a little," I thought about it, but I didn't want to do it. I didn't entertain it. So when the thought came, I cast it down. So and scripturally, doesn't the scripture tell us to cast down imaginations?
There was no sin.
Exactly, because I didn't entertain it though. But I didn't entertain it.
So what we said was thinking is a process of thought.
Okay, but where does the error come? The error comes when you commit an action.
In the process of the thought.
But you have to commit an action, right?
To express the thought, you do.
But to make an error, I have to commit an action.
To express it.
I think both of y'all saying the same thing.
No. What I'm saying is, though, if I don't commit an action, I'm not making an error. So I can think some, but if I'm sitting up there watching to see what'll happen,
he said,
I haven't committed to no action.
Already.
You see what I'm saying? I'm just watching. But now once I start acting and responding, now I can commit an error. That's all I'm saying. That's not
your prophet said. Once
he's saying it's an error.
You did it.
Okay, but it's not just, you got to look at the context.
I'm telling you what he said to you.
It's not just the context of that, though.
All right, Explain to me.
Because
Man.
when he said if you did it in your heart, not if you just thought it in your heart. The implication is not me getting a thought. It's if I'm meditating and figuring out how I'm going to do it. If I start plotting and planning how I'm going to do that thing and make it happen.
How to express it, give it life.
Then I'm guilty. But if somebody just say, you could be a married man and say, hey, man, she could get it. When somebody says that you get it, it don't mean you committed the sin because somebody said she could get it and you thought it. But now if you start plotting on how to do it, then you guilty.
The issue is how you're mentally conditioned to think sin is handled.
No.
Because you think it should be punitive. This is why you think you shouldn't get punishment for the thought.
No. I mean, it's just like, what's that movie? The Minority Report. They were arresting people for actually mentally going in their mind. It wasn't a thought. It was you plotted it in your mind and you figured that even though you had an opportunity to not do it, they were being charged with the crime because they were going through it in their mind. So it wasn't like I'm done.
You're saying
I'm constantly entertaining it.
It's not wrong to think about yourself wrong. You're saying it's not wrong.
No, what I'm saying is that thoughts are going to come.
All right, well, we
get thoughts.
If that ain't what you're saying, we agree.
We get thoughts. But now, if I meditate on it and then entertain it,
I think y'all slick saying the same.
No, we're not.
Kind of slick.
If you want to end the interview, you can, but we're not saying the same thing.
Well, no, I'm thinking like
we're not saying the same thing.
I think he coming from
I get
like
what
the
you're saying,
beginning.
but we're not saying the same thing. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but we not exactly saying the same thing.
I'm interested.
I'm
really
just saying
know how you arrive there and how you get peace from it in your faith.
No, I mean, again, I know that if I entertain something and I constantly meditate on it and start plotting and planning on it, that's different than somebody saying, when he say Cowboys and I see Cowboys in that wall, I'm going to think Cowboys. That don't mean that I was plotting and planning or thinking. Exactly. When you just said that, I saw a pink elephant in my mind.
Exactly.
But it's different than me sitting up, pink elephant. Pardon on. I got to give me a pink elephant. There's a difference in that.
Listen to me. Watch me. I don't think I don't think you got it within yourself to express a pink elephant. I don't think you can do it, my guy.
I mean,
look.
But I would not think now. Again, if you say it,
my account. I bet you can't express.
I mean, if you just want to clean your accounts to give me some money,
it right the fuck now.
If you want to just give me some money,
I bet you can't express a pink elephant.
Because I don't think about
so
pink elephants.
What we talking about?
Unless you say pink elephant.
So what we talking about is expressing it.
Yeah. Okay, but again, and the expression is the action,
so what
right?
I said was her sin was her expressing the wrong thought. You saying that ain't wrong?
No.
I'm saying her sin was her expression.
No, you didn't say that. You said the expression came from the thought.
I'm saying
you said You said her sin was when she thought that she wasn't equal to God.
When last time you heard something? Keep it a book. When last time you heard something?
That was recent.
Then you expressed that thought.
Yeah.
What the fuck is we talking about?
But even before I expressed it, I did it in my mind. Even before I expressed it, I did it in my mind.
Before you expressed it, what you told yourself was this'll be alright.
No, I didn't. I just wanted to do it.
You didn't say this was wrong because I'm not married.
Yes, I did. I know that.
Well then.
But I did it anyway because I wanted to do it.
So you expressed it.
So I was wrong before I did it.
That's all I was
because saying. I had already plotted and planned it.
Look.
I had scheduled it on my calendar.
Gotta say it again.
I had cleared it up.
Bet.
But I had been saying that, Darrell.
Right? No.
I've been saying that. I plotted and planned it before I did it.
Only.
So even if it would have failed, I had already did it up here.
You wouldn't have
and I'm undefeated up here.
I'm saying you wouldn't have gotten
up here. I'm 82-0.
I'm saying
I had already done it.
82-0.
I had already done it, and then so once I did, that was the fruition of what happened up here.
So I said the sin was error in thinking.
No,
your thinking was to plot to do it. Your thinking, the process of thought.
Okay.
The process. So the thought. So check this out. The faith in it. The thought was you hitting them. The process was you leading up and setting it up to hit them.
Okay, and again, but if you just say that to me and I hear it. And I think it, and I cast it down. I have not made an error, is what I'm saying. So when the serpent said what he said, if she had heard it and cast it down, she wouldn't have made an error, even if she would have been like, no, I'm good.
But since she heard it and she did what?
She actually committed the action. She committed to doing the action in her mind before she did it.
What you talking about, bro?
That's what I'm saying. She did it. She
we got
did it in
finish
her
this out real
mind
quick. We
before
got
she
finish.
did it.
You got finish it out. No.
She did it before she did it.
But that's what we're saying. We're saying it's a thought, though, right?
Yeah,
We're saying
It
it's a
right.
thought.
starts there, but
You're
if I
saying it's not.
entertain it,
Which
and
one
do
is it, bro? Pick one. Pick a side, fam, and
I've
assert
been
that
consistent.
side.
I've been consistent.
No, you keep flipping.
When have I flipped? When have I flipped? I have literally go back and look at the tape. I have not flipped.
All right,
I
y'all.
started with it starts up here, and if you commit it up here and you do it up here, you're already guilty. Now, once you express it, it goes into a different area of guilt.
Now go back to the tape because that's not what he was saying. He was saying because you got the thought, don't mean you're wrong.
Exactly.
That was his assertion.
I said,
that's
but if
not
you
what you.
entertain the thought, is what I've been saying. The thought in itself ain't wrong, but if I start to process and do it in my mind, then I have started that process.
Okay, so I think our quarrel is you don't know what I meant when I said express the thought.
That's an action, right?
That's process.
Expressing it is process?
Can you express it apart?
No,
from
so
it?
when somebody says express yourself, if you're doing up
Can
here,
you
how can I
express-
see you expressing
Can
it?
you express?
The expressing
let
is a
me ask
physical
you this.
action, right?
Can you express a thought apart from a process? It's simple, yes or no,
Yeah.
family. You can
Yeah.
express a thought
Yes.
apart from a
Yes.
process.
Yes.
I disagree.
Yes, you can.
I respectfully disagree.
Okay, so if you said, show me your happy face, before you said that, I'm not sitting up thinking happy. I can sit up here and when you say that, I just express the thought just because you said it. But now at the same time, if I'm sitting up there thinking about something and you say, show me what you're thinking, I can express that too. Because I was thinking it. But
So-
you can express something
so there
without
is-
having set up and meditated on
There
it.
is no process for you to smile. There's no brain
It's an
synapses.
action.
There are no triggers.
Or
There are
frown.
no muscles. Does that not denote process, fam?
If we going by the step by step of what it
That's
takes to
all
make
I
a
said.
face, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm going by.
But now you're being extremely abstract.
Not-
But when
not so
we're
much.
talking about the
Not
process
if I
of like
said, check this
making
out.
pancakes, I can't just snap my fingers and make pancakes. I got to get the milk, I got to get the flour or batter or
Just
whatever.
listen,
I got to
bro.
stir it up and do that. That is a
Listen,
process
listen.
of 1, 2, 3,
You
4.
said
If you say
that-
do an action, bam,
Listen,
that ain't no process.
I just want you to go back and watch it. You said you can express a thought apart from a process.
I did just say
And
that.
I said I respectfully disagree. I
did just say that.
I ain't got nothing else to say behind it.
Okay, and that's fine. I'm not mad like it's all good.
But you just showed me that there is process in everything, fam.
Now we're being schematic.
You gotta wanna.
Now we playing
Listen,
schematic.
you gotta be committed to misunderstanding to miss that.
No.
We going right here, right? We going right here. Okay.
No, tell me though. I want to know.
Hold
'Cause
on.
can
We're
kinda
doing
edit.
offline. We're gonna finish this out real quick. Hey, yo, D.
I want to come back.
You need to come
I
back
want to see where
because
this goes.
we got it.
This is interesting.
We got to come back with this. We got to come back with this.
All right, so we cut off with you cannot initiate a thought apart from process. He disagrees.
Right.
I think that there is nothing done apart from a process, even if you are unaware of it. Even balance is a process. Just because you master that too does not take the process away. It is a process. Muscle memory is real.
I'm not negating it. But like I said, it's being real schematics.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. It's yeah.
If we're going to break it, just
process.
like everything goes down to an atom, if that's what we're talking
No.
about, yeah, everything goes
We
down to
said
an atom.
process.
But if I say point, like, oh, okay, well, then when he said point, your brain had to go here and
What
do
we're
this,
talking about
then
is
your arm had to
expression.
do this,
We're
and do
expressing
that,
thought,
and do
though.
this. And
We're
that's
dealing
not
with-
what the
we're
scripture's
dealing-
talking about when it's talking about sin. That's all I'm saying.
SYN. What did it mean originally? You went to seminary.
I don't care what you were conditioned to think. SYN, what did it mean originally?
Y'all tell
This
me.
is
I
me
didn't go to
dropping the
seminary.
mic.
No, I mean you can drop it. It's all
What did
good.
it
Like
mean originally, dog?
I ain't
man,
All
we
we
would be
dealing
here all
with
night.
is original interpretation. What did it? I don't give a fuck what somebody told you. Look at me in my face. I don't give a fuck what nobody told you, bro. Real talk. What it mean? What it mean, bro?
I don't go off what nobody told me, D. I don't.
Well, y'all teaching me something
What
because
it
I ain't go to
mean,
seminary.
bro?
I don't go off
What
nobody
it
told
mean,
me.
bro?
I don't
When
go off
when
what
you
nobody
making some
told me.
real strong assertions, fam.
And again, and what I said
You making
earlier,
some strong assertions
I'm going
to not
strictly-
have all your information.
who don't?
With me,
Who don't?
with me,
Who don't?
SYN. We
And
dealing with
again-
expression of thought. Can you do that apart from process?
Yeah, you can.
Fuck out of here.
We gotta have my guy back, man. We gotta have him back on
Come
this,
on,
man.
bro. Keep it a
Come
buck,
on.
bro.
I always do.
We gonna have him
When
back,
have I
y'all.
not? As long as you know me, when have I not?
You can express.
As
thought.
long as you know me, when have I not
I'm
kept it?
asking you. You can express a thought apart from a process, bro.
Yeah.
Man, you embarrassing yourself.
No, I'm really not.
Cut
I
this
mean, cause
monkey
you going out, you
out.
going off all
You
that.
embarrassing
No,
us.
stop it, Pimp C. Stop it, Pimp C. You going all deep and around the world, and the earth is flat and everything like that. Come on, bro, stop it.
Yo, until next
Everything
time,
ain't that
continue with that executive mindset.
Most definitely keep it presidential.
Salute.
Bro,
Reverse.
are you seriously sitting here saying that if there is anything that
I'm gonna have fun editing this, boy.
you seriously